All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off with saying, Call Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harikak Wadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, my elder Heroine as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, to the sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Khanak Sa'am by Yasharala from the Lions in the Yasharala camp, and I'm back. I got my voice totally back. I'm not under the weather anymore. Whatever that was, the Lord done blessed me and healed me. I want to give all glory and praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah for that. And this is another Lions and News and Prophecy. You know how it started out. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1, it says, Speak thou unto the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Right. See that? And we speaking it on a consistent basis, man. We're speaking these words of prophecy that was given unto us by Yahweh, by the Spirit of Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh Shah. And we pray that we make it all the way to the end through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. So now this particular one, not really prophetic, but it's some news or whatever. So this article says Putin urged to retake Alaska and burn and drown Trump's America in chilling threat. See that? All right, so now that's crazy because when I got to camp Saturday, I asked the Akim, I'm like, yo, was Alaska ever part of Russia? And was one of the younger Akim, well, two of the younger Akim, Ashar and Kabash, had said, yeah. So they was talking about it from their history class from school, and I'm like, well, damn, I ain't even know that. Learn something new every day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that just shows, like, you know what I'm saying. You learn something from everybody. You feel me? Like everybody, we lead upon each other. So I looked it up and just want to go into it a little bit because that's crazy. That like not only do they want to take the lands back that were rightfully theirs when they were the Soviet Union. They want to go back all the way to the 1700s and confiscate everything, you know. But like that just shows the doom that America's facing, um, especially when you have these countries making threats at America. You normally don't see it like that, not idle threats like that. All right, so. Lord willing, this lesson edify and serve its purpose for the hope of elect, the ones who truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Let's get to it. It says, a notorious Russian propagandist has urged Vladimir Putin to retake Alaska, as well as Poland and the Baltic state, in a provocative call to arms. Yuri Ivik is a Russian soldier and combat medic who has reportedly called for Russia to destroy the West. And that's a really bold statement. They wanted to destroy America, man, the West. So that's not only just America, that's NATO and all that. Anything that's affiliated with America, they want to destroy it. You see that? They wanted to like tear it down. So that's gonna cause people like what I'm saying to be like, oh, we ain't dealing dealing with America no more because they got too much pressure on them. They got too much people like what I'm saying, too many people, too many enemies. You see that? So you know it says he regularly takes to the airwave to spread his extremist views to Russian audience far and wide. In his last interview, the Russian militant praised Putin for liberating Kursk and asked him when the rest of Russian land would be reclaimed. See that? That's going into Ezekiel 38. It says, quote, I remind everyone Poland was a part of Russia as well as the Baltic states and Finland. He said after a U.S. Coast Guard warned of an uptick in Russian and Chinese activity near Alaska. It says once they broke away from Russia, they became hostile to Russia and started to kill our people. started to unalive our people, Slovakia. It says the Russian nationalists went on to question America's right to Alaska, suggesting there was support among some locals for an invasion by Moscow troops. It says, finally, I remind all those who have forgotten the rental period of Alaska ended around 50 years ago, if not more, according to the agreement. So pay your penalties. I'm texting with Russians in Alaska. They are waiting for us and promise to help. Damn. So let me go into this a little bit. Let me look at something on Wikipedia. It said the Alaska Purchase, right? It said the Alaska Purchase was purchase of Alaska from the Russian Empire, by the United States for the sum of $7.2 million in 1867, which is equivalent to 129 million now. All right. It says on May 15 of that year, the United States ratified a bilateral treaty that that had been signed on March 30th, and American sovereignty became legally effective across the territory on October 18th. During the first half of the 18th century, Russia had established a colonial presence in parts of North America, but few Russians were settled in Alaska. Alexander II of Russia, having faced a catastrophic defeat in the Crimean War, began exploring the possibility of selling the state of Alaska possession, which any future war would be difficult to defend from the United Kingdom. To this end, William H. Seward, the U.S. Secretary of State at the time, entered into a negotiation with Russian diplomat Edward D. Stockey towards the United States acquisition of Alaska after the American Civil War. Seward and Stockey agreed to a treaty for the sale in March 30th, 1867. At the original cost of 2 cents an acre, right? It says the United States had grown by 560,412 square miles. Reaction to Alaska, reaction to the Alaska Purchase among Americans were mostly positive, as many believed that Alaska would serve a base to expand American trade in Asia. Some opponents labeled the purchase as Swords Folly or Swords Icebox, as they contended that the United States had acquired useless land. Like nearly all Russian settlers left Alaska in the aftermath of the purchase. Alaska would remain sparsely populated until the Klondike Gold Rush in 1896. Originally organized as the Diplomatic Department of Alaska, the area was renamed the District of Alaska in 1884 and the Territory of Alaska in 1912, ultimately becoming a modern day state of Alaska in 1959. All right, so they purchased that from Russia. Okay, but it doesn't say anything about, okay. It doesn't say anything about a time period. I don't know. Well, now we know that Alaska was a part of Russia at one point in time. All right. So let's go back to this article. It says, like in the case of many Russian, um, you know, ultranationalists, Evek's reading of history would appear to contradict the facts. Russia offered to sell Alaska to America in 1859, but believing the United States would limit the influence of the UK, Moscow's greatest rival at the time in the Pacific. However, the looming U.S. Civil War delayed the sale. Afterwards, Secretary of State William Seward quickly took up a renewed Russian offer on March 30th, 1867, agreed to a proposal from the Russian minister in Washington, Edward de Stoic, we just read that, to the purchase Alaska for $7.2 million. The state approved the treaty of purchase on April 9th, and President Andrew Johnson signed the treaty on May 28th. Alaska was formally transferred to the United States on October 18, 1867, ending Russia's presence in North America and ensuring American access to the Pacific Northern Rim. It says Evik was previously attacked the UK and the US, calling for their destruction in retaliation of their military aid and support for Ukraine. The only way to solve this war is to burn the territory before Manchi, and down everything beyond it. America and England, he 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 fumed in one debate. So he wants to. That's why I said the whole thing, the whole West, America and NATO, or America and England, man. See that? So you normally don't have things like that, like boldly. Hold on, 1 quick second. Hold on, man. I'm gonna get this real quick. But you got these Russians that are. He used to be a soldier in the Russian army. Now in Ezekiel 38, it talks about what I'm saying, the Lord bringing Russia back to the Soviet Union that it once was, the powerhouse that it once was, accompanied with other nations. All right, being a guard unto these other nations. All right, so Russia is that bear that is spoken of in what is it, Revelation 13. So the Lord has a controversy against Babylon the Great, and He has an agenda to destroy this place, man. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. It says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." Right. So there's nothing that America can offer to change the mind of um of Russia, because the Most High has set this up to play. He's the one that put this together. So there's nothing America can do to stop it, man. Just like, what I'm saying, how Babylon had to fight on multiple fronts, that's what America's gonna have to do pretty soon, man. And the crazy part about it, they're not gonna be prepared because nobody thinks that it's gonna happen to America. Everybody thinks it can happen everywhere else but America. See that? But America and in England, you know. They think they're so well protected, but the scripture says they shall go down to the land of unwalled villages. All right. This is verse 18. It says, "Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. They shall have no pity for on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children." Like in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be when when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. See that? But there's going to be a difference. See, Sodom and Gomorrah was inhabited again, but America won't be inhabited anymore after the destruction comes. It said, "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabians pitch their tents there, neither shall the subjects make their fold there." Ain't gonna be no business. They ain't gonna be able to open no businesses here and make money off America. Because America's gonna be done, man. Thus saith Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so now with that, that's gonna be, with them wanting to try to take back Alaska, which is probably not gonna happen. But just the thought of that, there was once upon a time that you know these other nations wouldn't even think to speak anything like that out of their mouth in fear of what type of retaliation America would do. But that's not the case any longer, man. Nobody cares what America's gonna do because everybody's tired of America being the bully and the hammer of the earth. So the Lord's going to put a stop to it. You see that? All right. So yeah, I just want to speak on that a little bit, man. Just a little informative information. Something that I didn't know. I didn't know that Alaska was once part of Russia. But well, now we know, and now they want it back. You know. All right, Lord willing, lesson edifying and serve the purpose for the hope elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. With that, I'd like to say, Call, Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder heroine as well. Salutations to the occupant of pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.